I would call this meeting to order. Call the Jamestown City Council work session for September 11th, 2023 to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Sheldon.
Here.
Brackton.
Here.
Karuba.
Here.
Reynolds.
Present.
Faulkner.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
DeVersa.
Here.
Eklund.
Here.
And President Dolls.
Here. This time, I'd like to recognize a moment of silence for 9/11. Thank you. All right, we'll move on. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to address council? Please state your name and address and return our comments.
My name is Gary Mooney. I live in the Hotel Jamestown, right across the street from here, 110 West 3rd Street, apartment 507. I'm here to lay down the praise. People who deserve a compliment for supporting what I do for this community, which is family entertainment in public places. I'm going to read from a letter that I submitted to the council. In recognition of the support of my services to the citizens of this region, Gary Mooney do wish to recognize the following people for their goodwill support of my work. I'm going to start with a woman named Jamie Trevally, who in 2017 was brought down here by the Comedy Center to do administrative work. On her own, she ran a comedy open mic at the Q restaurant, and she was very excellent at administrating that open mic. And she was laid off, downsized by the Comedy Center, and she went back to Buffalo. But I definitely put her at the top of the list. She was my inspiration to be here. Then I'd like to thank Linnea Carlson. I forgot her last name now because she's married. She was the director of the public market in Fredonia when I met her, and now she is the director of the public market, farmers market, every Saturday here in Jamestown. And during the week she's doing great education work and food distribution. She is a very hard worker, and she is a community asset, and she has always been supportive of my performances on her footprint. Charity Noose, she was the host at the Q for their music open mic, and an enormously talented performer. I need to thank her for her support. Dennis Webster was one of my first contacts, my best friend, coming here to Jamestown. He ran the Saturday breakfast party, first out of Denny's, then out of the hotel over here. He has always been a very strong emotional support for me, and whenever I needed to meet somebody, he'd point the finger and say, "Hello, this is Gary." And that is my qualification for a great communicator. Dennis Webster, and of course the entire staff at WJDN, Media One, I support you all. Craig Benson, who is no longer with us. He passed away from throat cancer, but he ran the 2.5 Laughs Comedy Club when I first moved down here. There was not enough business to support his success, but he gave me the opportunity to do entertainment for his business, and I had great fun, and so did a lot of other people. Deb Yoakum and Buck Kramer took over the restaurant and bar, and they also ran the open mics, and that was lots of fun, and I support them for their support. Jason Skinner took over the restaurant from there, and that's when the pandemic hit. And the pandemic hit a lot of restaurants very hard. He could not pull out of that one. But he was very supportive of the work I did to help his entertainment. Jason Skinner, he took over that location, and he ran his restaurant, and the pandemic came. I'd like to thank the staff of the Spire Theater, owners Angelo and Yelsa, and their chief technician, Sarah, the greatest. I can hardly ever pronounce Ravlowski, her last name, but she is one of the most fantastic musicians and talented showman I've ever met. I'd like to thank Events by Scott for including me in his festivals. That was great fun and great exposure for me. Patrick Smeraldo, Collaborative Children's Solutions. He involved me in the 2022 Labor Day Festival, and that was great exposure. I appreciate his service to my service. Then the sponsors of the St. Patrick's Day in Mayville, that festival, I did stilt walking as the world's tallest leprechaun. Again, great promotion for me. And we all had fun because I do the balloons wherever I go. Families love that. Greg Peterson with Tarp Skunks invited me into the baseball field, and that was great fun too. And Don Sandy at the Scandinavian Festival gave me great exposure to the people who mattered, who invited me to other events. There's a lot of people I don't have time to mention, but I'd like to make the addendum: every human who has smiled or laughed at my performance, whoever they may be, I would like to give them, those people tribute, you as my audience. And I thank you. And God bless. Make it a great day.
See anybody else here? But anybody else want to speak? If not, we will move on to our committee reports. Housing, go with that one first.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have one member from the council, Councilman Reynolds, who did speak up as a citizen. He talked about the need for more housing stock, which we all agree. He's concerned about Cummins will be bringing in more employees, and that we definitely could use more housing. We brought up there are Country View Estates has many lots available for people who would like to build, and so that's always open, and there are a lot of incentives to build in that area. Director of Development Crystal Surdick brought up they have had contact with a company called Modular Homes, and they are a modular home builder. Right now they're working in the Pittsburgh area, and this would allow a smaller footprint home to be built. There's a talk of a pilot project using infill and targeted demolition areas to try to use those for these newer, smaller homes, estimated to be about 1,200 square feet. The good news is that the New York State Building Code has added a section for smaller, she called them tiny homes, but I guess I would refer to them as smaller homes. And with the zoning law changes, we might be able to use that to help with changing our own zoning code. I believe the zoning code update and comprehensive plan updates are ready to go out for the RFP, or is it for bid?
Just about, yep.
Yep, just about.
Just waiting final approval from DOS.
Okay, and that we're looking at possibly reducing the setback size of the lots. This company has something called Last Mile Lab, where they try to do small scale manufacturing, which could tie in with what JCC is doing with workforce development. And they would assemble, they would build them and then assemble on site after they're transported there. We talked about the need for senior housing. As we're well aware, there are a lot of homes and houses that are not suitable, and those are all slated to be demolished. The grant applications under ARPA are still being accepted until September 14th of this week. They will not be awarding any funds until after the applications are all reviewed to make sure those who are eligible are considered first. And the update on the other ARPA senior funding, 60 roofs have been completed, 30 are progressing, and 30 right now need to be awarded to contractors. So at this point, it looks like we're well on our way to using those funds. Everyone seems to be very happy with the work and how it's improved the housing stock and made homes safer. And that was a general discussion. I don't know if there's anything else. Unless you have anything else to add?
No, that was
Okay.
No questions? Move on to finance, Kim?
We only had one resolution, and it was a resolve that the mayor be and hereby is authorized to enter into an agreement with Verizon Wireless for addition of equipment on the roof of City Hall and an amended lease agreement, subject to the approval as to form by the Corporation Council. That was approved. Jen did provide me with a plan for the budget, and I'm okay with that, Jen, if you wanna
Okay.
distribute that to everybody, so that will be coming your way. We also got a copy of the updated ARPA funding. I don't know, did you bring copies for everyone?
No, I'm
Okay.
sorry, I did not.
Could you email that to everyone for us? Thank you. So you will receive that to see where we're at, what's left to spend, what has been spent. As far as that was just an informational update. That was it out of finance.
Any questions on that? Again, on the ARPA, just make sure if you wanna look through that, you can see what's was allocated, what's been spent, and what's left in those programs. So if you have any questions about those, specific programs and the amounts that are left, make sure you ask the specific department head, administration, or particularly.
And I think we did upload this evening the ARPA spreadsheet, the updated one, to the website as
It's on
well.
the website as well, okay, just for the public, so they know
Yep.
that it's there as well. So anybody from the public has any questions about any of the programs and what's left and what could be, allocated, they can look at that and they can call or email to ask questions about that. All right, and for nothing else for that, Brent, do we have anything for public safety?
The only thing we had was a block party application, the First Street Block Party from Stella's Alley to Institute Street, be held Friday, September 22nd, from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. That was approved. And that's all we had.
That was it? Okay.
Sounds fun.
Randy, Public Works, anything?
Yes, thank you. We didn't have any resolutions. There was a discussion that, a couple of things on, Regina had asked about the possible, either a crosswalk or some kind of warning at 11th and Washington. And Mark is going to ask the DOT if anything could be done with that. Andrew brought up a concern about a no left turn coming up Main onto Third. It's no left except buses. And we did something with a no left with buses on Washington and Third. We removed that. And this one here, Mark is also going to check with the DOT to see if that can be removed or what the reason is.
The complaint that I got was by the time you're at the light, the sign is behind you, so people are making left-hand turns and don't see that the sign is there. So sign that.
Is that a specific time or is it always that way?
It's
It's
always-
always,
I
yeah, there's
don't
no
see-
left off.
I don't even see-
No.
The resident that brought it up asked if it could be another one placed across the street, so when you're sitting at the light, you can see no left turns.
Well,
Well,
you're
even
right.
left at
I
Fourth,
agree.
you only get like 2 cars through the left.
I
turn
agree,
Fourth
make the
Street.
left, because they were designed, we talked about, when we had large buses, and we do not anymore, so I would say make the left there. And we talked about that, and, that would be about it, that's all we have,
Can I ask a question? It's off the top.
yeah.
Maybe Mark can answer. They're redoing McDaniel, and it's taking a very long time to get the concrete done. I mean, I guess my question is, when they put the forms up, why don't they just do the whole street? They've been doing 1 here, or 2 here, or 1 here, and that street has been torn up for probably at least 2 or 3 weeks now. McDaniel, between Newland and Norton. And that whole
Yeah.
section is down to its brushed, and
Yes.
they can't park on the street.
Yeah.
And they've done 1 concrete, like maybe 2 a day, and they're going down the street, and then, why don't, I mean, just for efficiency, it seems to make more sense. Why don't they do all the forms and pour all the concrete at once?
I mean, a lot of the times the contractors might not have enough forms to do it that way, or they have forms on other jobs. That specific job, I don't know why. I think that was
It's taking a long time.
I think that was that street is milled, correct?
Yes, it's milled down and you can't park, it's got no parking. And
I'll find
I
a-
just was curious why, you know, the neighbors haven't really expressed a lot of complaint yet, but I imagine if it goes much longer,
Yeah.
they're going to.
I'll get a timeline on that
Okay.
project.
I would appreciate, just, it looks what they've done, but it's very selective where they kind of
Yeah.
conforms, and some of it, you know, it looks like there are areas that they probably should have done something and they've left.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, you know,
Alright.
if they're gonna be digging any more up the, you know, and I didn't know if that's typical, but it's, you know, they've had that street dug up a number of times because of the water problem, and then the street sunk, and they had to fill it in again, and they, you know, it's been over the course of about 5 years, they've had a lot of disruptions on that street, so I would appreciate if you could take a look.
Yep.
Thank you. That's, I thought maybe Randy, I don't know if you had any.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Yeah, cause you're not too
I'm
far
always
from
there.
that area.
I take
Okay.
that route, and I see it all the time, and, you know, I do notice that, that's happening.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I don't know with your experience, I didn't know if you thought that was
I
typical
never got
or
out and
not.
actually seen, but I know that they're, yeah, they're taking quite a bit of time.
Okay,
Yeah.
then, alright, thank you.
Anything else for Public Works?
No, that's it.
If not, unless the council has anything for open session, Mayor, you have anything tonight that you?
Go Bills.
Go Bills?
I have nothing for this session. We'll have some more for the next one, some presentations and things, but
Right.
for the most part, this
Okay.
came up quick. So.
I think we do have one item for an executive session under personnel.
Yes, if I could have Captain Forrester, Chief Jackson, and Mr. Romano.
Before we go to executive session, I do want to just say thank you for all that came to Labor Day. We really appreciate those that worked. Many of you worked. Many of you helped support. We had a very steady stream of individuals and families, new vendors that were very pleased this year for the most part, and some really great fireworks. So I just want to thank you all. Thank the Parks Department, Public Works, VPU, UPMC, WCA Services that were there, as well as Pat Smeraldo and his entire team from Collaborative Childhood Solutions. And we were very excited to be able to put on another Labor Day festival. So thank you to everyone.
All right. You can tell it's always a Bills night. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for personnel? Removed. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so we're in executive session.